Good morning, everybody. This is Josh, and I am going into work at 1:30, so I don't have a lot of time to film today. But I thought for today I would do a review on the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice in my new chair, my new leathery, amazing chair. Oh, so nice. My back was killing me whenever I had to edit video together. Before I was using just kind of a folding chair, and it was awful. But I got this at Costco the other day. I split it with my girlfriend because she's the best. And she'll probably use it too if she's ever using the new office and the new place that we're getting pretty soon. But on to the movie. Okay, so Batman v Superman. We all kind of know how that fallout went. When it first came out, a lot of people said it was okay, a lot of people said it was great, a lot of people said it was absolute garbage. Most people said it was absolute garbage, at least if you go off of critics. And that's what I do. I have a certain number of critics that I enjoy watching or reading, and I trust. And they just ripped into this movie. They said it was sloppy. They said that the editing was poor. They said that it was overblown, washed out color-wise. A lot of pomp and circumstance for not too much payoff. And a lot of comic book fans said that they did not do justice to the characters that they loved. They said that they brought Doomsday in too early, which isn't really fixed in this movie. It was way too early. This movie, if it has one thing that I would say is absolutely wrong with it, it's just overstuffed. I know they didn't want to go the Marvel route. I know that they wanted to get a group of people together immediately to start things off because they have some catching up to do. DC Comics has some catching up to do when it comes to making movies like this. But after seeing this movie, and I didn't actually see the first one, that's the thing. Because of the reviews and because of what my friends had been saying, I was like, you know, I'm probably not going to like it. I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder fan. I think that he is a talented dude who makes movies that are not for me. I enjoyed 300 when it first came out, but after that, almost everything that he did, I just wasn't a huge fan of. But this movie, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I think it's not, never having seen the first one, which I think kind of helped me in this situation, I think it was a pretty good film. I think that Zack Snyder directed it, you know, pretty well. He chose his shots well. It was a lot of work. A lot of work. We can see that. You know, he didn't just slap up a bunch of green screens and make that happen. He really did put a lot of effort into this film. And it's apparent, and it sucks that, you know, he's going around telling everybody that he wanted to put out the 3-hour version, but he just couldn't. You know, he had to get it down to 2.5 hours. And I understand, because this movie is really fucking long. It's like 3 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. And that really does hurt it a little bit. There's just too much in this movie. I really think they could have cut this into 2 different films, or at least just not put Doomsday in it, really. Doomsday is supposed to mean so much more than it comes down to. And one of the things I had heard a lot from my friends who read comic books a lot. See, I read comic books, I just read the weird ones. Hold on. I read, let's see. So, I'm not a really big superhero comic book guy. I like my Solomon Kane, Puritan dude, fighting demons for God. I read Unwritten, you know, Harry Potter ripoff, being sucked into storybooks, some of the best art that you'll ever see in a comic book series. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. The Wicked and the Divine, just fantastic, fantastic stuff about gods being resurrected as pop stars. And Lock and Key, you know, Joe Hill, the son of Stephen King, writing kind of a horror mystery movie about this house that creates these keys that let you leave your body or control people's minds or do all kinds of crazy shit in it. So, I mean, DC really isn't my cup of tea. I've read the main Batman stories like Identity Crisis, The Killing Joke, you know, the big ones, but I definitely do not follow them religiously. But what I heard from them is that it's just too early to bring Doomsday in, and I agree. I agree that turning Zod into Doomsday, by the way, spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen the movie yet, it was just too much, too soon. And killing Superman after his disappointment in Man of Steel, although I thought Man of Steel wasn't that bad. I mean, honestly, I think it was justified really well in this movie. Okay, Lex Luthor. So, Jesse Eisenberg. He's been getting a lot of shit for this movie. And probably rightfully so. You know, he's a very specific type of actor. And he's not the kind of person that can yet reinvent himself like Heath Ledger did when he created the Joker. Jesse Eisenberg has his way of speaking, and this turned into Jesse Eisenberg as the social network dude, Mark Zuckerberg, who's gone a little bit insane and is really God hungry. You know, that's just what it kind of turned out to be. He's not Lex from the old cartoon series that I used to watch as a kid. He's not this suave, smooth, genius operator. He just has a lot of money, and he's really smart, which is part of what Lex is. But turning him into this kind of just really smarmy, goofy, insane scientist rich kid, I just didn't care for him. You know, I don't think many people did, honestly. I mean, props for trying something new with that character, but I don't know if he was the one that you should have tried that with. A lot of the complaints that people had, because I did read up on the complaints people had, I looked at the reviews where people said that there were a lot of logical fallacies in how they were blaming Superman for certain actions in the film that I didn't see a problem with in this one, which I guess is good. I think that they've really fleshed out this version of it. I'm still a little upset about Bruce Wayne killing bad guys left and right. I know that it's a different Batman, it's a different Superman, it's different all around. But Bruce, you can't get upset about, you know, this guy in the sky, this alien, presumably, without any proof whatsoever, presumably killing some people in Africa and causing mayhem and, you know, hurting the city where your tower was. But he obviously didn't do it on purpose, and I get that we have to rein him in, but to, like, try to create a Kryptonian spear to kill the guy, I mean, come on, man. And then he goes left and right and just straight up murders dudes. Like, if you have any question whatsoever, if he straight up murders everybody when he's saving Martha, he does. He kills them all. And I know they're bad guys, but to a superhero, you don't really get that excuse. If you want to be the good guy. And I'm hoping that in the next movie, Justice League, there is a lot of pathos where he kind of feels bad about creating the death of Superman, and feels bad about how off the rails he kind of got. Just like how we had problems with Man of Steel, and they kind of fixed those after they heard the fan outcry in this one. I'm hoping they'll kind of do the same with how bloody and awful and violent Batman was, which a lot of people I'm sure probably love. I just kind of prefer my Batman, you know, who isn't such a hypocrite. Is that too hard to ask? Well, I have to get going pretty soon. This was not written down in any way. I'm sorry that it kind of rambles back and forth. But if you agree with me, that's fine. If not, thumb it down. That's okay, too. As a guy who did not see the original run of the film, who has not been kind of tainted by that experience, as a lot of people have, I think that it's a solid 7 out of 10. I don't know when I'm going to watch it again. Like with Marvel movies, you know, they have their movies that I watch once and I put on the shelf because, you know, I'm going to want to watch them again eventually with my kids or, you know, other people who have not seen them before. This one is so long and this one is so dense that it's not like a party movie. It's not a movie that you can watch with other people around. I guess you could. It's so dire and it's so drab. Now there's a lot of hope in it. I'm not saying that it's like hopeless. I just think that it's not a fun movie to sit down and watch. It's a good movie. It's just long, but I understand how that was necessary for the story that Zack Snyder was trying to put forward. So I can't give too many points away from that one. So 7 out of 10. You know, it's solid. I enjoyed it for the first time I've seen it. I don't know when I'm going to see it again. But if you have already seen the first version in theaters, check it out. I think that it fleshed out a lot of character moments. And when I watch these things, I've seen so many movies and so many director cuts, I think I can see the moments, little character moments that really help the story that I'm sure they've probably cut out of the original cut. I'll probably go back and watch the original cut too and do another video eventually about how awful it was, as everybody says, or maybe they were overacting then as well. But yeah, I gotta go to work. I wish I could just sit in this leather rolly chair all day. It's fantastic. I don't want to do that though. I gotta get some exercise. I gotta get better. I gotta get to work. Gotta put gas in my car. But yeah, sorry that it wasn't written down. This is pretty impromptu. I just didn't feel like filming much today, and I just finished the movie, so I wanted to get my thoughts out pretty quickly. So, hope that you enjoyed it. Hope that your day's great. See you later.